Got the key to the highway. I'm packed and I'm ready to go. I believe here running. Walking is much too slow. I'm going back to the border where I belong.
All right now.
I leave you this time. I ain't coming back no more.
All right, I want to welcome you to the #1 internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station. Hey, you know, is this fall or winter? I've been trying to figure this out. And everybody know that I'm a person that I'm a Cancer, so I love hot weather and I love water. But this weather, I just don't know what to do with it. I think I need to leave Chicago and go somewhere where it is warm. But I want you to know that I am big and beautiful. I am fat, but oh so fabulous. I'm cute, but most of all, I'm confident. I am the big sister of Rhythm Flow Radio, your host, Katie Lowe. And we have a special guest in the studio. One is backed by popular demand.
All right.
Phil, the man, Phil Circles. And he brought along with him his lovely wife, actress, TV, and film, Megan Corse.
Hello.
Okay, and you know you got my sidekick down there.
Teresa A. Moore.
All right. Listen, we have a nice show lined up for you today. But before we get into the show, we're just gonna talk just a little bit about what's trending. I'm not gonna harp on it too much. Give 45 too much of my time. But I don't know if I talked about this the last time we were here. You know that an employee, it was his last day at work. He or she, they never did say whether it was a male or female. But on his last day at work, he deactivated Donald Trump's Twitter account.
Oh, it was a woman. Actually,
It was a woman.
Yes.
They found out it was a woman.
Yep.
You know, I thought that was so.
Yeah, right.
Really, they should give her something. I mean, they should give her a GoFundMe page, and she could like. I mean, I thought when I saw that, and it said this account deactivated or no longer exists or something, I thought that was just really, really funny. Okay, and you know, I know that he didn't like that, and he probably didn't know how to handle it. I mean, could you imagine being of that status, and you go to tweet, and you know he's an advocate tweeter, and you find out your account is no longer there? How would you feel?
I'm sure he had a bit of a fit.
I bet he did. I bet he did. Oh, I bet he called everybody in Congress. Okay, I bet he did.
Yeah, right. We've been hacked.
Say what?
We've been hacked.
Yes. But anyway, I thought that was one of the funny things. And one of the other things I'm gonna throw this out there is that Sean Puffy Combs, Puff Daddy,
Changed his name.
He did. He
Yeah, it's a new name again. Huh?
he got a new name.
really?
But no, he changed it back. He said he was playing. I think he.
Oh, he done
Yeah.
changed it back now?
Yeah, he said he was playing
Oh.
Well, honey, they was gonna call
on
him.
Instagram.
They were gonna call him Brother Love.
Oh my God.
Make me want to change my name to Mother Love.
All right. I like it.
But I just thought that was just so cute. I mean, you know, you can just. I mean,
Well,
think
you
about
see
it.
what happened to Snoop Lion, didn't you?
In last year.
Right? It's like, no, that ain't gonna fly.
No, you can't call Snoop. No, how can you call a dog a lion?
Snoop
Yeah,
Lion,
well, how do you make that-
Lion.
how do you make that
That
connection?
don't work.
I
That
don't
didn't work.
know. I have no idea. I really, really don't. And I want to remind everybody about. I want to tell you that this is always trending with me because I support this young man and I support the Inglewood community for the things that they're doing over there. I mean, I've had guests on the show and told them, ain't no Inglewood. But listen, Inglewood is on the move.
Oh yeah.
It really, really is. And I want to support, I support the 5 after 5 wine tasting. It's every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. with Eric Jones at the Whole Food Market, 832 West 63rd Street. 3rd Street. Where can you go and spend $5 and I think 52 cents? You buy your glass. They have 5 wine tasting tables. And each table, some of them are together, but each table has a different wine and it also has a
Appetizer.
an appetizer to go along with the wine. And they also have entertainment.
Wow, that's an unbelievable price.
It is. I mean,
That's wonderful.
if you're a guy and you want to take a girl out and you don't have a lot of money, work at the day labor and make that cash that day. Get yourself cleaned up, take her to the Whole Food Market. And I mean, it's very impressive. You go around, you get your wine, you get your food. They got places where you can sit, you can talk, you can hold a conversation. They have live entertainment. Sometimes they have a DJ. And for a couple hours, you can sit there and get to know each other. It's fantastic. So I support that. And on Fridays, I'm telling you, you should go out and support it because it's more than just wine tasting. There are people that are in the community and they have their goods there. They have jams and jellies and cookies and all kinds of things. And I found out they do the same thing at Mariano's. But I do support Eric at the Whole Food Market at 832 West 630. How come I can't say this? 832 West 63rd Street in Inglewood. That's Fridays, every Friday from 5 to 7.
7:30.
7:30. Okay. You got to change that because he's got 5 to 7. Okay. We got to get that straight now.
That's a great thing that they're doing because that speaks to quality of life. And that's what people need. So rough community, big deal. They deserve good food, a good life, a quality of life. And that, that speaks volumes of the people who are putting it together.
Yes.
It does so much for the people who are there. People always seem to make this confusion that poverty means crime when 98% of the people in a difficult neighborhood are not criminals.
You said that, and that brings me to those 27 people that died in Texas. Well, no poverty, right?
Yeah.
But here's one man who's pissed off at the world because he's mad at somebody up in that church. He knew some people.
His ex-wife or
Okay.
wife.
Okay. And he goes in and he kills, 27 people died after something he did. There was no poverty there. There was no
illness though, because mental illness probably played a part.
Well, you'd have to argue that with 45 because he said that I think he did something to the gun law where a person that had been mentally ill could buy a gun.
I know. Yes.
Well, I think they go too much on the mentally ill thing. I think you see a lot about that on social media is like, if it's a white guy, he must just be mentally ill. And
he did time in the service. So, I don't know if he was in
like
war.
PTSD kind of thing, maybe.
Now wait a minute, PTSD exists.
Oh, it does. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a brother, he's dead now. But I'm going to tell you, when he came back from Vietnam, he's messed up.
Yeah.
And he did 3 tours of duty in Vietnam.
Wow.
He was messed up. He was not the same brother.
Wow.
And I have friends who served in Afghanistan and Iraq, and they told me stories I wish they hadn't, you know. And yeah, it's a real thing. Then they come back here though, and there's no support for them. There's nothing, no programs, nothing. And then I've run into people, Vietnam veterans, guy 70 years old, finally saying, "Oh, maybe I should go, you know, get some help for this you know, PTSD that I have." And so you know, people, there's like a stigma attached to it. So people, if they have a problem, are disinclined to go do anything about it because they're afraid people are going, "Well, you're crazy." I talk about that stuff in my book. I admit I'm nuts.
Really?
I admit I had a problem with alcohol. You know, all the problems I have, because I don't want there to be a stigma attached to these things. And I'm a musician. Nobody's going to fire me from my job as a lawyer or at the bank or whatever for saying, "Yeah, I was messed up." You know, and so it's important to me, and experiences with friends of mine. How many people I've known over the years in any kind of circumstance. So, like, you know, to piggyback on what you said about poverty had nothing to do with this. Poverty is spirit, probably, you know. But in all walks of life, I have watched people go from mental illness, from addiction, you know, from just being spiritually bankrupt, you know, and all these things, we need to remove the stigma from it, and we need to pay attention when there's a sign that somebody, maybe somebody's putting a picture of himself with an AK-47 up on Facebook, all proud, unless he's owns a gun shop or something, or he's just home from war, or something, or he's a reenactor of some sort. You might want to give a little thought to what's going on here. There are signs, but we like to ignore them because we don't want to be made uncomfortable.
You're right about that. You're right. And another thing, we're going to talk about that book that you got here, but I wanted to say this thing too, that it's heartening to learn that these guys, they go over there and they fight for this country, and then when they get back here, they're treated like second-class citizens. And the paperwork, the tons of paperwork that they have to fill out for these benefits, they don't have to fill out that much paperwork to go into the military.
Right.
So when they come back, they got tons of paperwork. And they know what those guys go through over there. I mean, sometimes they don't sleep. And then you're out there on the field, you don't know when, you're going to get rushed or get killed, or the guy next to you or whatever. But they make them fill out tons of paperwork in order to get those benefits. That's so sad.
Yeah,
it should be a given. You signed here and you went and served. That guarantees that you will have services when you get home.
Absolutely.
That should be.
And they should give them free insurance for the rest of their natural life.
Politicians
and their family.
Yeah, politicians.
Politicians get that. Why shouldn't the people that go serve, in the military get that?
We just got through arguing. I met this man. His name was James. This weekend, and we went to their house to play cards. But we ended up eating the good food that they had and talking, and we got to talking about the healthcare issue. And I was saying, healthcare is basically for men. I mean, we women are entitled to some aspects of it, but it's basically for men. So he asked me, why would I say something like that? I said, because they don't want to pay for an abortion. And my thing is, if I had a daughter and somebody raped her and she became pregnant, I would want her to have an abortion. I would not want her to carry that baby and then have to look at that baby for the rest of her life. And I says, but they want to give me a problem because I want her to have an abortion. But they'll buy you some Viagra so you can go and make a baby.
Right. I can go be the cause of the need for the abortion.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So we just had a talk about, how healthcare has a stigma against women.
Mhm.
But when it comes to a man, and I'm sorry that there are only 2 men in the room and the women outnumber them, but they're going to hear this.
Oh, well.
I don't think you get an argument from me.
I won't. But it's just a shame that the women that they have these little things, these little stigmas attached to things that we can do and we can't do.
Yeah, I think because we are in a patriarchy, and so men are very uncomfortable with the fact that we are the ones that create life, and they can't do it, and so they put all these rules on us as the gender that's in charge. I think the bottom line is women need to be in charge.
They do.
I'll just take care of everything.
And and my thing is, Congress, you can just stay out of my vagina. Okay? You can just stay out of it and leave it alone. As a matter of fact, stay out of all women's.
There's no reason for the government to be dealing with our healthcare. Absolutely none.
I'm telling
It has
you.
nothing to do with them.
All right,
We make our own decisions for our
So-
own bodies.
Yeah, and it's ironic too. So what gets certain politicians elected amounts to arming men with weapons of any kind and disarming women of any choice of any kind.
Oh, I love the way you said that.
Yes.
And you should put that on a T-shirt. I'm telling you. Okay, there's one other thing that I have to talk about. Delta. What a way to fly. Blow me away.
I think I saw this on your page.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
A 48-year-old woman and a 28-year-old man were complete strangers. Delta Airlines. And they decided to get it on.
Yeah, get it in.
Missed
It
that.
was a show.
She decided to give him some head right on the airplane.
In the seats.
Baby in the seat.
Wow.
Okay.
Now I'm just trying to figure out, how did they get caught?
Yeah.
How could you
Yeah, I wonder.
possibly have gotten
Could
caught?
you imagine you're flying an airplane and she's giving him some oral sex. I mean, I wonder who saw that.
Maybe one's sitting next to him or in front of him, behind him.
Huh? You think they
On
would?
the
You
side
think
of
he
him.
was making noise?
Like,
Excuse
wasn't
me,
there
sir,
some-
ma'am, can I get you a whoa? I'll come back later.
Was it at least nighttime? Was the plane dark?
You know, they didn't say, but you know, you can be, well, they didn't say whether it was day or night.
I'm curious.
But I mean, Delta, they should have a new slogan. Delta can blow you away. Imagine that. Now you flying. I don't know how many, they didn't tell how many passengers were on the plane, but they were just saying that, you know, they didn't know each other and she decided to,
All right.
How did that conversation start? Where are you headed? What'd you say?
oh, that's cute. But that was,
Their ticket sales are going to skyrocket.
I don't know. I better be some old freaks on the plane looking for some of the women.
Lord. This is gonna be a show.
I could just imagine that. I'm playing Delta because shoot, I might get lucky.
There's a slogan. Yeah, fly Delta, you might get lucky.
No, fly Delta, you might get blowed.
Ooh, away.
I want to say congratulations to Cheryl Burton, 25 years at ABC.
Congratulations.
No scandal.
Yeah.
Right?
No scandal. I mean, everywhere else there's a scandal.
Mhm.
Mm.
You know, Fox News, scandal.
Mhm. True.
25 years, no scandal. That's all right.
Nice.
Great.
And, you know, there's another thing I got to say. You know, Terry Crews, you know, he talked about being groped by somebody. everybody thought that he was being groped by, what's his name, Harvey Weinstein. But it wasn't. And you know, what's done in the dark will come to light. So finally, his name is Adam Benit, from the boxing, I guess, it's a wrestling federation. The WME has I guess he must be the corporate. He must have groped him because he's is on leave from his agency because his sexual allegation is being probed. And we talked about that, like, what was it, last week, a couple of weeks ago? And now all of a sudden somebody has come out. You know, he didn't come out and say he did it, but we know this is who did it. So this man is, like I say, is on leave. I say, wow, this life of sex is just something else. I mean, they're doing it on the plane in Hollywood. They're just having all kinds of sex. I mean, it's just terrible.
They doing it in Hollywood too?
Well, you know.
Oh yeah, them.
Girl, in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Since you're an actress, do you know about that sofa? What they call it, sofa?
Casting.
Oh, casting
Casting,
couch. Yeah. No, I've never had to encounter such a thing.
You better not say you know about it in front of Phil, no way. I'm just kidding.
Well, I've been in plenty of situations where men try to take advantage, though.
Wow.
I mean,
really?
Plenty. A few. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was on a photo shoot with a man who I was not young, but I was naive. I was kind of new to modeling. And this man, I'd seen his work on Model Mayhem. It's a big website for models. And he had this whole shoot set up for the whole day. And it started out pretty innocent. You know, I had a bunch of outfit changes. And then he started getting kind of sexual. He was like, now think about your boyfriend and what he would do to you and da-da-da. Wow. And I'm like, well, maybe this is what you do. Maybe this is what a photographer needs to do to get this out of you. I don't know, you know. And this is what these women are kind of talking about. Maybe this is what happens on like a set. You know, a director's like saying these things to you, whatever. Because you don't know, and you understand that the entertainment industry has its own rules, and so you're like, well, I need to follow these rules to fit in, right? So yeah, he started kind of going on like this, and we were I was like back on a chair, and he was like kind of over me with his camera, and I totally could tell he had, you know.
You could feel it, couldn't you?
I know it was not touching me, but I could.
No, I'm saying you could feel that energy.
Like, yes, you got it. Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, you know what? We gotta stop. This is too weird. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm so sorry. Like, what's wrong? I was like, well, I'm not comfortable with this. You know, I need a moment. And I like went and took a moment, came back, and I'm like, and I'm the one apologizing. I'm sorry. You know, why do we apologize? Too much. Why? I don't know.
Just why do we do? See, I don't apologize.
We spent 100,000 years programming you to do it.
Is that right?
That's what
it
is.
See, I'm not one that apologizes.
We are the ones that, you know, started original sin, right? So we're inherently damaged in some way.
You think we started sin?
No, I don't think so.
No, I know we didn't start sin. Because
they blame it on Eve.
Listen, I'm going to tell you why sin started. This is my version. This is not in the Bible. Okay, so don't nobody go in the Bible and start looking it up. The Bible look hated.
That's right.
Adam could no longer cut the mustard. So he had to lick the jar. And while he was licking the jar, the mustard stood up. And he says, oh, I got to try it again. And that's how we got sin.
All right.
Okay, listen. I want to remind everybody. You know, I gotta put a joke on it. Okay, listen. And I'm gonna talk about this, and then we're gonna get into the show so we can get in Phil's business and get in Megan's business. We're gonna find out what's been going on with them and what they got coming up for the holidays. What are they gonna be doing? We're just gonna get up close and personal. But I do want to remind everybody that Williams fainted.
Oh yeah.
She was doing it was on a show, right?
Right.
And she was in a Statue of Liberty
Yeah.
costume. And it got too hot in there. You know that song say it's getting hot in here. So let's take off all your clothes.
I am getting so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes off.
But Wendy say it got hot in there. And I thought when I saw the video, you know, the scandal is out that her husband has a girlfriend. So when I saw the video and she was like, she fell out.
She fainted?
She fainted.
Oh my God.
I thought maybe she saw the girlfriend who had walked, you know, up on her set. And I thought that she saw her and she passed out. But they say that had nothing to do with it. They're saying that, man, this is social media.
Oh,
okay. I didn't say it.
Okay.
They're saying that she fainted because I guess under the costume, and she's saying, you know, a woman of her age, and she's got this costume on, and I guess she must have had some other kind of outfit on under there. She overheated and passed out, but Wendy is okay.
Yes, she is.
She is all right.
Good.
So she'll be back talking about what you doing.
How you doing? How you doing?
Okay.
And Tyrese had good news. You know, he those charges were dropped or dismissed about him.
What do you abuse his daughter?
Chastising. They said, you know.
Well, let me tell you something. My mama chastised me. My daddy chastised me, and I didn't come out too bad. So sometimes, you know, if you got kids and you let them walk over you and you don't say something to them, I mean, you could seriously have a problem.
Who brought the charges against him? What's it?
I think it was
the
the daughter.
baby's mother. The mother.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the baby's mother.
Right. The daughter didn't. Yeah.
I tell you, I don't understand it. I really don't.
Ex's dispute to me.
Yeah, I say when you become an ex, you got to learn your place. And your place is that you are an ex and you're supposed to go about your business and enjoy your life. You live better when you do that. When you don't worry about what that other person is doing.
Right.
Once you are divorced, if it's a boyfriend and you all break up, you go and live your life because you have to find out who you are.
Right.
And if you don't do that and you keep harping on, you know, what he did this, he did that. Well, the hell with what he did. He did it, let him go his way. Now you live your life. And once you live your life and you find out who you are inside, you will find out that you're a marvelous person. And you don't have that to worry about. But as long as you live in the past, you will never be able to see the future because you got something that's blocking you. Now, that's my take on it.
All right.
Okay, but I want to remind everybody that they're listening to the #1 internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com, and iHeart Radio station, where we have 70 shows, 70 to 150 hosts and co-hosts. We stream 24/7 on your... You can only get us on the internet, and you must have access. You got to have a smart device with internet access, and you can pick us up. Today's show is brought to you by Oval Cleaning Inc., professional cleaning service, commercial and residential, carpet, windows and floors, office and post construction. Call my friend Mike for your free estimate at 708-528-6825. That's Oval Cleaning for all your cleaning needs. Now, we're going to get back and talk to Phil Circles and Megan Gorse. You can start off with your book if you want to. You can take it, as I say it, you can do it any way you want to do it.
All
right then. I guess since I already talked about the book a little bit, I'll just give a little background as to how it came about. And, you know, when I was a kid, here they have it, my book. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a writer, but I grew up around music because my mom was a musician as well. And so then picking up guitar got me into playing music more regularly, writing songs, that sort of thing. And then at shows, I would tell stories after shows, and at parties I found myself telling stories. So then people said, you got to write these down. So I wrote them down a few years ago.
Sorry.
That's right. We got chips.
I'm trying to get the bag to sit on the table.
Don't think it's gonna happen.
Excuse me, these are called the wrap chips. Go ahead.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, so I after people bothered me a lot to write down my stories, I went and I wrote them down and just kind of put together a thing I could sell people at shows. Just, you know, printed at home with the comb binder, you know, that kind of thing. And then people who did get a copy of the stories and read them said, no, I want something more serious. I want to know more. I know what you've been through, you know, as well. I want to know some of the dark stuff and really tell a story. I went, oh, okay. So then last year I sat down and went through the stories again and compiled them into this book and added some stuff, took out some stuff, and it really turned into more my story of literally how I've survived 30 years as an independent musician, for good or bad, whatever my opinions are. They're just my opinions. I talk about the music a bit. I talk about the music business, which hasn't changed a whole lot in some ways and has changed a ton in other ways. Also just, I don't know, just talking about the heartbreak and talking about the victory and just going through the whole 9 yards. And the last guy that read it for me before I published was a writer at the Tribune, and he called it a confessional, so I just keep using that. And he said, oh, I think this will help a lot of people. And I went and lectured at his class, at the journalism class he teaches yesterday. Lectured is a big word. I guess I just talked to them about the book. And it came out August 3rd on all the booksellers online, Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all, like 50 other ones. It's in ebook form. First review was fantastic. I didn't dare to dream that anybody would get from it what this reviewer got. And so I was pretty blown away that it really came through like that. I thought, well, it's a decent book, you know, something else to sell at shows kind of thing. I didn't give it a whole lot of credence. And then this reviewer, you know, saw right to the core of it, that it's a story of hope and victory and in spite of myself sometimes, you know. So that's you know, kind of that's where it came from.
So in this book, did you spill all the beans?
Well, I think, yeah, like the really heavy stuff. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the really, I didn't feel like I didn't.
I don't know what beans you got, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm just asking you. When I take it home and I read it, am I gonna get some full circle that I don't know about?
More than likely, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Where I had, I talk about mental illness and struggling with that. Misdiagnosed, I think, probably, but the depression and things that a lot of artists suffer from. I talk about how dark it got with that. Alcohol abuse, which is really easy to come by when you're a guitar player, you know, and playing in bars all the time, and everybody just serves you for free all night long, you know, and how that took me almost out of the picture. And I do touch on my ex-wives. Each one gets a page.
Your ex-wives?
Ooh, what an S.
Ooh, I'm gonna read this thing. I can't wait. Hey, give me a good bottle of wine and call up, baby.
Well, each one I give a respectful page apiece, just to kind of give the history leading up to my best friend here to my left, to the viewer's right. So it kind of leads up to my meeting Megan. But like I said, I give a respectful page to each one. I talk about what I did wrong somewhat within each one, but it's just like, here's wife number one, there's a page. Wife number two, there's a page. Talk about touring. Megan's in there quite a bit. There are other Chicago musicians in there as well. The discussions about the music industry. I talk about my dad, who is an amazing guy. We're talking about the military. You know, he was one of those guys who was in World War II and through 6 theaters of war and saw everything and never talked about it. You know, came back and went to school and did well, and etc. So yeah, and why I love music, and talk about dancing down the street downtown to go visit my dad at his office, listening to my transistor radio. Remember those?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That Walkman thing, or before these MP3s, and, 8-track tapes and cassettes and vinyl, and
I've never seen an 8-track tape.
You've never seen an 8-track?
You found one, yeah. I didn't grow up with them though. Cassette.
Yeah, you remember cassettes?
I remember cassettes.
My first musical release was on a cassette.
Wow.
Now they're making a comeback, which is sad because it's just a trend. They're actually the worst way to preserve music possible because they decay just sitting there. They get old, and then the music bleeds through. So you're better off with digital or with vinyl.
Yes.
And then I'm working on a new album right now. I haven't decided if it's going to be a single or not, but we're pretty close to being done with the first song, and that'll be made available.
Excuse me.
Pretty quick.
So you got a new song that you say you got a new album, a new CD that's coming out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a vinyl release to put it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
More vinyl. We sold more vinyl
Wow.
in the U.S. last year. We sold more vinyl than we have since 1988. It's become a huge thing now. It's very popular. People like the warmer sound of it. And it turns out they do want a big piece of packaging that they can look at, like a piece of artwork in addition to the music. And
rather than go and just download it.
Well, and then a lot of the vinyl comes with a download card, so you can go and still throw it on your computer. But then you can go.
You have the album.
You have
Now,
the album to enjoy.
Is this something new that other musicians are going into vinyl?
Yeah, quite a few.
Oh, now see, I got to read up on that because I didn't know that.
Because you know how they used to take the covers and put them on the wall and stuff like that.
People want that again.
People want that, yeah.
Put your weed on there and get the. Oh, did I say that? Oh, let me shut up.
I was thinking it, so you got there for me. Yeah, you can't de-seed your weed on an MP3.
And get the seeds out so you won't burn up your clothes.
Right. And we just dated ourselves by talking about de-seeding. From what I understand, there aren't any.
Put the blue light in the light in the lamp. Put the blue light in the lamp, or was that the purple light?
Now you had the lava light, baby. You had the lava light.
No, I'm talking about the light bulb. You can see all the lint in your hair.
Oh, the black light.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Those are the worst. Trouble for yourself.
Oh yeah.
So you wanna give us like a little taste of that?
To the song that we're just about done recording?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Yeah.
It's called What I Mean.
Something you wrote yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, now.
What I mean is I'm coming home after many a day. What I've seen, it's pretty cold, but I found my way, and I ain't gonna stop till I reach the top. I have no idea where that is. I'll just keep on moving, try to hold the groove in, keep my rhythm any way I can. What I mean is I'm coming home after many a day. what I see. It's pretty cold, but I found my way. I was crawling in the bottoms. They said they knew they got 'em, but I slipped away one fever shaky night, hanging on by inches. I think I broke the stitches in a faded, foggy forest with no light. What I mean is I'm coming home after many a day. What I've seen, it's pretty cold, but I found my way. There's a couple angry people, a couple broken steeples, and a pile of rubble where the wind died down. Guess I didn't kill it. Guess I'll just rebuild it from the broken bricks laid firmly on the ground. On the ground.
All right.
Yeah. Full circle. Yay! Yes. I want to tell you, he has such a deep voice. And he sings like he talks. Mm-hmm. You know, some men don't do that. Some singers don't do that, period. They talk one way, but when they sing, the voice is totally different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Megan. How about that? Hubby singing.
Yeah, I like it.
I bet he serenades you at home all the time.
More like he practices. He's like, what do you think?
All right. That's good. That is very good. Now, okay, you said that this book, I want to go back to this. Did you say you self-published this book?
I did, yeah.
Are we talking about this book right here?
That book right there, yeah.
That book right there.
That book right there.
This book is self-published.
Uh-huh.
This is really nice.
Oh, thanks. I had a former student of mine who lives in Brazil, where he came from originally. He lived here in Chicago, and he's a graphic designer. He did a lot of my CD covers and posters and things when he was here. So I shot him an email and I said, I got a book coming out. Can you design the cover for me? And so I sent him 2 pictures, and he came up with this. Yeah, I'm really happy with this work.
You know, that's why I say when you come on the show, there may be somebody out there who's writing a book who may need some information, and see, we can all learn from each other. Okay? Yeah. And this is a really well put together package. This is not only a book, it's a package. You got the CD in here, you got a postcard, and you got a business card. This is well put together. Very well put together.
Thank you.
Now, is this what they get when they buy this? Is this something special?
Well, they can. So you go to my site, philcirclemusic.com. You can get the book only. You can get it in physical form. You can get an ebook deal on there where you can get the book with that CD. That's a full band CD. Mm-hmm. And then when you go on there, if you join my mailing list, then you get free stuff here and there, including unsolicited advice about the music industry from Phil. Oh, but like when the song I just played, when we're almost done with the recording of that, with the band backing me up on it, people who are on my email list will get first dibs on that before the album is out. That'll be the only way to get a copy of it as a single. Of course, you'll get one.
Thank you.
You're Katie Lowe.
Oh. See, somebody, did you tell them again who I am?
Katie Lowe.
All right, Phil. That's what I'm talking about. Phil, you know you made my day. Okay, Phil. Now we're going to talk to Megan. Megan, of course, who is the wife of Phil Circle.
I am.
And we're going to talk about Megan. Megan is not only a model, she's a actress in TV and film. And like I said, I see your commercial, the one with the, I know it's about some money.
Yes, I did a commercial for Americash Loans last year.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, tell me how you got involved into the industry.
It's always been something I've wanted to do for as long as I can remember. And when I went to college after I graduated high school, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I was undeclared. I started out doing writing and then theater, and I was like, I don't know if I even want to go to college. And I told my mom that, and she said, oh, honey, you're a little too shy for acting. I think you should just go to college. I said, oh, okay, Mom. So I went to college, and as soon as I graduated, I still wanted to be an actor. So I ended up moving to Chicago because of a friend and former roommate from college, and went to be her roommate in Chicago. And about 6 months later, I started taking acting classes, and that's actually where I met this guy.
All
here.
right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Chicago Actors Studio. How may I help you?
Yeah.
Right. That was
You worked
great.
there?
You
I
did.
was
You.
teaching out of there, and I'd answer the phones when they rang.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
It was a little friendly.
So when you heard that voice,
I heard that voice, and I was like, ooh, I like this place.
what you said, I gotta go check
I gotta go
that
check
voice
this
out.
out.
Because a lot of times the voice don't look like the person.
True.
All right.
Luckily, he looks pretty good. So yeah. So I went
I usually
into
take care of it.
oh, come on, you look good. Yeah, I went into to talk to someone about interning there, and didn't work out. But I met Phil that day, and yeah, so I took classes. He and I started dating when we were cast in a play together.
As brother and sister.
As brother and sister, we were playing brother
Wow.
and sister.
I know that was a hard role to play.
It was kind of interesting. There was like a weird sexual tension between the characters anyway, so it kind of worked actually.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, it was very interesting play. So.
Brother and sister.
Not yeah, like
I wait a minute. See, you get my head. My head just did a. Did you,
Well,
did
they
you see
step-
it?
but
I thought I was on The Exorcist. Did you see
No,
my head
no.
spin away?
yeah, that sounds weird, but yeah, it's this my character. She was a young girl when her older brother left to go to war, and her and her mother like held hope alive that he was still alive, and so they put out like ads in the paper trying to find him, and this man comes into he shows up in
They
the
saw a
newspaper, right?
Newspaper, yeah, right.
Where this man's been jailed for killing someone.
Murder.
Right.
It takes place in 1920
Oh, okay.
in Massachusetts.
So my character thinks that that's her brother and goes to investigate, pleads with the warden to let her see him, and he does. And he tells her, not her brother, but he knew her brother.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Well, really, was he her brother or was he not?
Only the audience finds out. And so at the end,
Yeah.
she talked about how her brother used to recite Shakespeare to her, and he just starts laughing. So, and I played this is me, so I'm laughing at her, and I'm like, Shake, that sounds silly to me, and all this. And then as she's leaving, and he knows he's gonna hang in like 10 minutes,
Wow.
And so as she's leaving, he says, hey, would you recite that for me again? And she said, you laughed at me before. He's, well, please, like, I'm going to die here. Give me something to die with, And so she starts reciting a piece from Romeo and Juliet, it was, right?
yes.
Okay, and then
Sounds right.
and then can't finish it. She starts crying and leaves, slams the door behind herself as she leaves. And I turn and I finish the line that she just started from Shakespeare.
And she knew you.
And so the audience knows that I am her brother.
Oh,
and
wow.
then the name of the play is The Valiant, and that's from another Shakespeare. So as they're parading me off, I'm going, the valiant only ever tasted of death but once. And they're going, never a dry eye in the house, including the cast.
Oh, wow.
By the end of it every time.
So that was the beginning of your acting career.
Yeah.
So I noticed that I follow you on Facebook and I read your posts, and I know that you've been quite busy. Quite busy.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some of your projects.
Oh, let's see. Recently I completed a TV pilot. So what a lot of TV pilots do these days is they shoot like 6 or 7 episodes and they put them up on a platform where they can be seen and hopefully picked up by like a big company like Netflix or HBO or Amazon. So I was a recurring guest star on this TV pilot. So I have 2 episodes, and it will be premiering on Amazon Video on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
All right.
So
and what's it called?
Pretty exciting. Oh yes, it is called Hapless.
It's Helpless?
Hapless.
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 Oh.
Yes.
I was getting that wrong now.
Oh,
Hap. Okay.
Hapless.
Okay, so that's going to be on Amazon. And there's some other things that you've been doing. Oh, you've been auditioning your butt off.
I have been auditioning my butt off. Most of what an actor does is audition. That's pretty much all we ever do. I auditioned for films. I auditioned for director, just to kind of get my foot in the door with TV shows here in town. And that's
so you've been on any of the TV series here? Like,
yeah.
just about everybody I talked to, they've been on Empire, or Chicago Fire, or Chicago Meds, or PD, or something. You on what?
I was on Chicago Fire. You can see me in the background behind the one of the lead characters in a bar where he loses his job. Did you see that?
Really?
Episode?
Send me the link, because I know they sent it to you.
And you can see me in the back setting up my microphone. They hired me to play myself.
Really?
So it was me, and I knew the guy who was playing the drummer. We both knew each other from the music scene. We were just taking the background extra work, So that was something I was doing a lot last year. I did a lot of extra work just days when I wasn't filled up with teaching and stuff. And I was on Empire too.
Send me the link so I can post it on the page.
Right,
I mean, that is something that I didn't know.
Yeah, it's just that background work,
Background.
For me, that's like
a lot of people get discovered doing background work, not saying one word. I mean, because
they don't.
Listen, I have been on set. I've had the opportunity to be on set on a movie that's coming out soon. It's not out, but they shot it here in Chicago. And Brad, I can't think of Brad's last name. He was one of the producers. They were looking for a look. Okay. And they walked out, and they had Vinicius Machado from from Power. He's playing one of the lead role in this movie. And they were looking for this look. And they were walking around these extras. Brian McLemore Smith was the wardrobe man. And honey, when they found out what they were looking for, they grabbed it and took it onto the back. And when they got through it, it didn't look like the same person.
Yeah.
So this is what I found out. Sometimes it's a look that they're looking for.
Oh, it's always a look that they're looking for. Yeah.
And they're looking for it among those extras that they got. And they had a lot of them there that night.
Well, they make them like a featured extra, right?
Yes.
Move on up from there.
I was saying, they move on up. They move on up from being
if they're lucky,
from being in a silent film to a speaking role.
But bottom line is, what are they looking for once you get to a certain point? What they're looking for is training.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, you can be an extra and get your face on TV, but unless you're really, really lucky, it won't get you anywhere beyond that.
That young man that was in the Terminator, they got him off the street when he played that role with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator.
He came off the street.
Yeah.
Which one?
The I don't know his name, but it was the young boy that was in Terminator, the main character.
The one that becomes the guy later on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I heard that they can take an extra because they're looking for this look, and I read some articles where people said they got discovered, but then once they got there, they went to acting school. They did
trained.
this and they that, so
sure.
that they could perfect the craft.
Sure.
Okay.
That's
It's
great.
like boy, they do that in music too. Like you got the boy bands, they grab all these guys. Typically, they have some kind of training, some kind of musical sensibility about them, and then they work 8 hours a day on their singing and their dance moves, and they create a product out of that look.
Mm-hmm.
I know in music that's actually more the exception than the rule. I don't know about in the acting world though.
Yeah, I would just want to dispel any idea that you can be an extra and be an actor. I think like it's a great thing to do to be on a set and get to know what it's like to be on set, to see how the process really works. Because I did extra work as well on Chicago Justice, and I actually got to be a stand-in for one of the main actresses one day, which was pretty fun. And that's when you actually get to like work with the director and the cinematographer, and you get to be in the room with all the people making it happen.
Right.
But it is so rare to be picked out of a group and then you're shot to the top. That just doesn't really happen
often.
very often. It is like one in a
But it can happen.
10,000.
happen. Yeah.
I know. I worked with
I'm
a
just
lot
trying
of
to get
people.
somebody hope out there.
No. I think it's great to do it. It is really great. But a lot of people would ask me, because I study, I do short films and commercials and that sort of thing. Like how do I go further? And I said, go take classes. That's how you go further. You keep doing the extra work, you're not going to learn how to act. You're just going to learn to sit around and walk where you're told to walk. You have to get the training.
Constantly auditioning.
That's what we do as actors. We have to just be auditioning all the time. And you can do 500 auditions, and maybe that 501 is going to be the one that takes you somewhere. But it took to get to that point. And some people are super lucky and they can start out very young.
Well, what if they knew Harry?
And they have that look, and then they're shot to the top.
They do Harry. Yeah, if you do
What if they do?
Yeah,
do Harry?
Weinstein,
Harvey.
I'm just
there's a comedy movie.
Throw up.
There's got to be.
What on Harry?
Do Harvey.
Is it Harvey or Harry?
Harvey.
What is his name?
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. I'm calling
You
him
can
Harry.
say it wrong. I don't want to hear his name.
Oh.
Disgusting.
So do you have did I ask you, did you have any projects that you're working on that, we're going to see for the holidays?
I wish I was. No, I don't. Just Hapless is the only thing I have coming out around the holidays right now.
All right.
Yeah. I wish I had more to share. It's been, busy for me on just like the little projects front that people won't see, but I got paid for. So.
Well, you did.
Now that's the good part.
Yeah, see, that's
what
all
you
right,
say?
though.
I got paid.
It's hard. You got to make a living,
I know
So
that's
take what you
right.
get and get what you can get. Yeah.
I was explaining to a music student the other day, and I brought up the same thing yesterday, and I was talking to the journalism class over at Truman about the book, that the arts are very much like our society as far as the economy of it. So, we always talk about the 1%, right, in our nation, the 1% that hold all the dough, right? And then the rest of us are that 99%. In the arts, it's very much like that as well. So you get, Ed Sheeran and Beyonce and what Brother Love, whatever his name's going to be tomorrow. They're like the 1% of the arts world and of the music world, and you get the same thing in acting. For instance, like there are people here in Chicago you've never heard of who are millionaires from playing music.
Mm-hmm.
You've never heard of them because they're not that 1% that have the fame attached to it. And there are people that make very lucrative livings. I have a friend who's from here originally, out in LA. He makes a very good living Hey, Ted Wolfers. He does well by himself. He's a respected guy. He's a great songwriter. He finds any opportunity to pen a great new song and put it to work. And unless people know him personally, or know of his music directly, you never heard of him. But there are guys like that, guys and me and other folks like us who make a living. And same thing with Megan's talking about. Well, all the paid jobs I've been doing and stuff, those aren't going to be on Amazon Video. Mm-hmm. And yet everything keeps spreading out in the business end of it. So Amazon, Netflix, Apple, each of them has dumped about $2 billion into developing networks of their own because of streaming video being so popular. Mm-hmm. So that then presents new opportunities for people.
Oh God, yeah. It's a great time to be an actor because there's just so many avenues for work now. It's everywhere, all those platforms that Phil's talking about. Whereas before it was like you could be on CBS and that was all you got, Public television. No one watches that for quality.
PBS.
We don't want quality.
No. I mean, the network shows.
I watch PBS.
I love PBS.
Sometimes they got some good things on there.
Thanks for setting me up, Phil. No, this is about like the kind of work we're talking about, like a real drama, that kind of stuff. But I know like BBC does stuff now on PBS right?
Yeah.
So
BBC.
They've kind of expanded, which is cool. Yeah. So be an actor. So much.
And then a lot of people are shooting their own movies, and you turn around and they're streaming on
YouTube,
Amazon.
Everything.
You go in there. It may not be but 8 minutes long, but it's a plot and tells a story.
Yeah.
Okay. And I noticed that a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah.
Your friends say, "Oh, did you see my clip on Amazon?" What? And some of them, if they get good, they get a little commercial with them. I heard when they start attaching the commercial with it, it might mean that you might be getting some dough.
Right.
I mean,
monetize.
Monetize.
Yeah.
Right. I have a lot of mine monetized. And then I yell at other people's videos when ads pop up. I have to remind myself, I did that with mine too.
Okay.
Trying to make a little money.
I think it's $1.96 so far.
Something.
Need more views.
All right. Listen, I want to tell you that I do appreciate you all coming by Intellectual Radio and visiting Rhythm Flow Radio.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. And letting us, nosy and get into your business. And we're going to be following you. And when you have something, I know I haven't been making shows, but I promise I will start. I have had this phobia that where I, get up in the house and, streets of Chicago just scare me, But I have been trying to get out and do a few things. So, and I know that you have been in my area. In there, but I thank you, Megan, for streaming it live through Facebook.
Oh, of course.
So I can feel like I was there because she does stream. Yeah, when you're somewhere doing something.
I loved when you were watching because I got like a million likes and hearts. It kept popping up. I'm like, Katie Lowe, she loves it. It's awesome.
So I want to tell you that I really appreciate you dropping by and visiting our platform. Tell you that our door is always welcome. So when you have a new project coming up, don't hesitate to call us.
Okay.
We at Rhythm and Flow, we make room. Okay. Okay. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the #1 internet station, IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Radio station. Listen, like I say, we have 70 shows, 70 to 150 hosts and co-hosts. We stream 24/7. And believe me, this place is like la-di-da-di. There is a show for everybody. From cooking, religious shows, Joe Jakin, he said, she said, and the girl named Jay, the J Spot, listen, if you want to hear some talk about relationships, talk about exes, all kind of things, Intellectual Radio is a place to be. So if you don't have a smartphone, listen, it's going to be Christmas coming around soon. Put that on your list and tell them to buy your smartphone and get you some internet and be a part of our platform. We're going to let Phil Circle play us out with one of those Phil Circle songs.
Yeah.
And hey, have a good night.
All right.
Sunny and warm, I feel funny and forlorn. Got no good reason. Could it be I'm confused? Am I used? I guess it's alright if I'm not out of sight. I still got things square in my view. Irritated and judging, ego inflated. Could I use some nudging? I need a directive for better perspective. Is it elected or effective? I guess it's alright if I'm not out of sight. I still got things square in my view. I guess I'll make it, and maybe I'll fake it. Don't put too much stake in my distorted view. Keep on walking, better stop talking. I hear my voice, enough of noise. I guess it's alright if I'm not out of sight. I still got things clear in my view. I guess it's alright if I'm not out of sight. Got things square in my view.
All right, we thank you. Okay, everybody.